Adam Collins here in Perth ahead of the first test of the summer, the West Test. We're here in the on the hill, which has been rebranded here at Optus Stadium. First test between Australia and Pakistan. The tourists have not won here since December 1995. 14 times in a row they've lost to Australia in Australia. How they set up tomorrow, it's still pretty unclear. From Pakistan's perspective, they're picking between their two wicket keepers. Mohammad Rizwan, who's been a superstar against Australia in white ball formats, made a test century at Karachi last year. He's been out of the side in favour of the former captain Sarfraz Ahmed. They might both play, maybe one as a specialist bat. A lot more clear for Australia. Nathan Lyon into the side that lost to England all the way back in July. I say lost the final test. 2-2 was the series ledger at the end, Australia retaining the Ashes. But Nathan Lyon in for Todd Murphy. Mitchell Marsh retaining his spot at number 6. David Warner at the top of the list in all probability, playing through the rest of this series and getting his preferred farewell date. So Australia, who took all before them this year, winning the World Test Championship final at the Oval, squaring the ledger against England to retain the Ashes, and of course the sensational World Cup victory in Ahmedabad only a few weeks ago. But a change of format here at Perth. It's going to be the start of a 5-test summer, 3 against Pakistan, 2 against the West Indies, and every single ball is going to be on SEN. All right, for the first time this summer, Pat Cummins, welcome to SEN Test Cricket. What a huge year. Have you had a chance to kind of let it all sink in what happened in India a few weeks ago?
Thanks. I have. It's been a great couple of weeks at home, actually. It's still kind of catch yourself off guard every now and then, remembering what happened. And the buzz from just everyone, all the people you meet in Australia has been great as well, the support. And we're still on a high, most of us boys.
Your third summer in the gig as Australian Test captain. Do you sort of feel like you're just getting started? Or, I know there's some succession planning chat today with Travis Head being made co-vice captain. Where do you see that for you, or is it one challenge at a time?
Hard to say, really. One challenge at a time, but I feel like I'm getting better and better with each Test series. I certainly don't feel like I'm near the end. So hopefully a fair few more years left in me, and I'm loving it. It's great. Love this bunch of boys, and as I said, I do feel like I'm getting a bit more of a grasp on it with each test.
Some captains say that the job takes a toll on them. Others believe that it invigorates them. What sort of camp do you fit into?
I think at times a bit of both. I feel like it's been a hectic year, but I've also got a bit better at managing myself, and anything I don't need to worry about, I'm getting better and better at flicking off to someone else. And as I said, the boys are great, so that makes my life a lot easier. And I feel like it's all manageable.
You've been really clear about what the plan is this year with your side, at least this summer to begin, having the big 3 quicks all playing, backing in Mitchell Marsh. But when it comes to those precious World Test Championship points, does that kind of inform why the 3 quicks are in, and I suppose ideally playing all summer?
I think it's always been the case with Test cricket, even before the World Test Championship. So I think that's given it added value. But you might only, even in a busy year, it might only be 10 or 12 Test matches. Good luck telling Mitchell Starc or Josh Hazlewood that you're going to sit on the sideline if they're fully fit. So in reality, there's natural kind of attrition anyway with fast bowlers. So if we all play 5 Test matches, that would be awesome. If history is to suggest anything, there's going to be kind of forced changes at some point anyway.
You'll have some work to do in terms of the World Test Championship points, having lost a few that were on the shelf in England. Do you sort of feel that way? You need to make the most of the next 5 Test matches?
Yeah, you need to be winning at home to make that final, really. We got a few points in England. Of course, you'd hope you get a few more, but as long as we win all our home, we'll get as many points as we can at home, and then pick up a few overseas tours along the way, which should be in good stead.
And just on selection, David Warner backed in, of course, this week to play at Perth Stadium. Do we take from that he's playing all 3 tests in the stretch and he'll play all the way through to Sydney, or is it still results dependent on him getting to the finish line?
I think it's results dependent for every player, really. Of course, nothing's guaranteed, but it's his spot. So I dare say we will see him in Sydney, but of course, we've only picked the team for the first one.
Always fun and games when you rock up in Perth, it seems, Pat. Last year there were talks of protests and so on, but I'm sure that's all in the rear vision mirror now. Mitch Johnson with some strident comments about the side last week. Took a pot shot at you last year as well. Do you feel as though when you come here there's extra attention on you and your leadership and the team more widely?
At times. I think this year's been really supportive. Off the back of an Ashes and a World Chess Championship and the World Cup, we've had nothing but wonderful support. There might be one or two that have some comments, but overwhelming feeling we've had is just one of support. So yeah, we're excited to get it started.
Just one on prep. Steve Smith's not faced a red ball in a competitive game since July. I know it's not your decision to make about scheduling, but do you think that into the future there should be more of an emphasis on trying to help multi-format players get a bit of a run in before they play a test series?
He's faced about 10 years worth in the last 3 days. I mean, in an ideal world, of course, you'd play 5 Shield games leading to the first test, but it's in reality, I don't know how it all fits. You know, we're already playing over 100 days of a year for Australia. I mean, to try and fit in some extra games, it's too hard. You've got to give something up. So the good thing is we've been playing international cricket. It's intense. So most of the game stays the same and we're ready. Obviously, you'd ideally have a bit more overs into the legs and be used to a red ball, but we're used to it. We've been playing for long enough.
Just in closing, it felt like you might have had quite a heated discussion with the match referee coming up this morning around Usman Khawaja and the shoes and all the rest of it, but it feels like that's put to bed. Is that your impression, that he'll play now without the writing on the shoes and play on it'll be?
Yeah, I can 100% say the match ref did not mention anything to do with that at all this morning. Right. It's pretty much pre-tour or pre-series we always have meetings, and it's normally about the rolling schedule of the pitch or the DRS or those kind of rule changes, so nothing to do with Aussie at all. But yeah, I don't think Aussie's going to wear the shoes. And
just with Usman and your team more generally, under your captaincy, feels like your players have felt the freedom to say what they think and talk publicly about a whole range of issues, and you've had support from the Federal Sports Minister about that today as well. Is that something you're quite proud of in your dressing room?
Yeah, it's great. I think any group of people is at their best when everyone's bringing their own individual qualities to it. I love that our boys are passionate about different things, and you know, probably what I'm being most proud of is at all times when someone's bringing themselves to the table, they're being respectful and they're going about it the right way. You know, whether you agree or disagree with anything, I think our boys have been incredibly respectful. So really proud of the group.
Brilliant. Pat Cummins, good luck for the summer ahead.
Thanks very much.
You were here 4 years ago as part of the Test squad, but you didn't play against Australia in Pakistan a couple of years ago. You went back to England and made so many runs there for Derbyshire and subsequently captaining Yorkshire. How important has been that to your development, going over and playing a lot of county cricket?
I think county cricket's been very good to me. It's allowed me to play competitive cricket away from sort of the international environment. Being able to play a full length of the season at Derbyshire and most parts of the season last year at Yorkshire. Those are things that you want to do. You go in different dressing rooms, adapt to different cultures. You learn a lot about the game, whether that's on the field, off the field. So I've been very lucky. I've been coached by good people over there. I've played with some great players, some England players, some overseas players, and they've all helped me in my development. So again, I've been able to figure myself out as a person and as a player, and hopefully I can repeat that on the international scene.
You don't have every player you probably wish you had available for this series, but you do have Babar Azam in that dressing room. How's he adjusting to life as a former captain?
I think he's been brilliant. Again, he's a world-class player, and we're really glad that he's on our side. He's done well in Australia in the past, whether it be any of the formats, and we're really excited to see what he does over here. And then, like I said, the title of a captain doesn't really make you a leader. You're still a leader, and we want to have a lot of leaders in this dressing room. We also want to get the young guns to speak up, to be confident and sort of be leaders. There shouldn't be any age limit or any experience limit. But Babar is a leader in our dressing room, and we'd like him to contribute in every way possible.
A man who was a young player when he visited 4 years ago, very much experienced now, one of the finest bowlers in the world, Shaheen Sharafridi. How crucial is it that he can put a dint in these Australian players on this surface the first time he gets the ball in his hand?
I think it's very important. We've spoken about how important partnerships are, and the Australian team sort of highlight, especially their bowling attack, they highlight how important partnerships are. So for us, it's Shaheen is sort of the vital cog, but it's also about the other 4 or 5 bowlers that are going to play with him. How do we bowl in partnerships? How do we take 20 wickets? And it's an exciting time to play cricket for Pakistan, and hopefully he can bring out his best in these conditions.
And some players in your side have had a great run of it the last 12 months, Sal Shakil being an example of that, who probably don't have that emotional baggage of having done poorly against Australia. How important do you think that might be?
Look, I think he's a very exciting player, along with Abdullah's there, Agha Salman's there. Imam has scored a lot of runs in Test cricket for Pakistan. Again, for us, it's about being patient with our players. I feel these players, like when we went to Sri Lanka, these were the players that stepped up, that produced a series-winning result for us. So it's about giving them a chance in conditions they haven't been in before, and sort of testing themselves and seeing where they stand and where they can improve. Again, it's about the bigger picture. It's about testing yourself against a quality bowling attack, and hopefully, like I said, if we can do things consistently well over a period of time, the results will be on our side.
Shan Masood, best of luck as the new captain of Pakistan. Hope it goes well the next few weeks.
Thank you.